Hi and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you how to use the blog builder with the Plus add-ons for Elementor. Now this is called the blog builder, but with it you can create stunning, fully customized blog post pages, but also beautiful author pages. You can create one-of-a-kind category or tag pages and even search result pages. And as you will see, this is the best blog builder for Elementor by miles. I'm Dave and I'm bringing you this guest tutorial on behalf of the Plus add-ons for Elementor, and make sure to subscribe to their channel so that way you won't miss a single update. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Even though this widget is called a blog builder, it can be used to make any custom post type. But not just that, you can also create author pages, category pages, tags pages, and search result pages. Now, in order to use this widget, you will need to be able to create new templates, and for this you will need to have either of those two options installed. You could use Elementor Pro Theme Builder and just click Add New to create a new template, or Nexter Builder, which is part of the Nexter WP theme, and this is the one that we will use for this tutorial. And there are two different versions of this theme that you can download. There's a free one that you can download from the WordPress repo. All you have to do is go into Appearance, Theme, Add New, in the search box, type in Nexter, and from here you can install the theme. And then we have the Pro version, which can be downloaded from the nexterwp.com website. And as you can see, this theme was designed for performance and provide you with unlimited possibilities. So this theme is next level technology and without a doubt an extreme value for money. Now, before we can use the blog builder, we need to enable a few widgets, and for this we go into the Plus settings, Plus widgets. In the search box type in post, and from here we need to enable 6 of the essential widgets, which are post title, post author, post meta, post featured image, post content, and post comment. And then you can enable some additional widgets as well, such as blog listing and post search, and 2 premium version widgets as well, which are dynamic listing and post previous and next. And now that all our widgets are activated, let's create our first template. So we click on Nexter Builder and then click Add New. And let's give it a title. So blog builder template, and then let's scroll down to the bottom here and you can see we can select the layout. So we have none, sections, and pages. We're going to select pages, and then we can select among those 4 options, and we're going to select singular because this is what will apply to a blog post. And we are currently using the Pro version of Nexter Builder. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see that we can include and exclude, and we can define our conditional rules as well, and we can add as many as required. So we can easily add more conditions just like this. And with the free version you can only include, you cannot exclude. You can still create your conditional rules, but you can only create one. Now back to our Pro version. So how can you set up your rules? It's very simple. Simply click the drop down menu here, and we're going to create this template for the blog post, so all post. And just underneath your conditions you have to select the preview type. So here again you select all post, and you have to select at least one article, one blog post. So among all the blog posts that you have, just select one. Okay, and now we click publish once more. And now we can edit with Elementor. And from here we will be able to create our custom blog page. So let's create a section. Now obviously you can create this from scratch, or if you want to have the basis on which to work from, I'm going to show you something really cool. And for this, let's go to our demo page And let's select, for instance, single post 1. So we click on this, and we are going to use this demo as our basis, and we're going to copy all this in just 2 clicks. So to import our header, let's hover on top, and you can see it reveals this section here that says copy. If you hover on top, all we have to do is basically click on it, processing, and copied, and back to our template. We can right click on our section and click on plus paste. And just like that, we imported our blog header. And now we do the same for the page content. You can see we have the copy here. So click on this, processing, copied. And now we can right click on our section here and do the same again, plus paste. And there's all our content. And you can see that the content of our page has been populated dynamically using our different widgets. And we are now going to explore each one of these widgets and configure them to fit our needs. But first, let me show you where this content is taken from. And for this, we go back to our WordPress dashboard and look at all our posts. So these are all our blog posts. As you can see, we have quite a few here. And the very first one here, the title is "In a Cold Night with Yellow Light." So our header, for example, here is made out of 3 different widgets. So we have this one here. So this is our background picture. So it will basically fetch the background picture automatically, dynamically, and display it on a blog post. And obviously you can set this as a background or a standard image, but in our case it's much better as a background image, and then you can apply it to a section, an inner section, or the full column. So in our case, again, it is better to select section, and then we can apply some styling options as well. So we have the usual image position, attachment, repeat, and background size. And then we can add an overlay color in normal mode and hover mode. So let's go ahead with this. So let's add maybe a blue color, let's say in normal mode, or maybe purple, let's say. And then we can change the opacity. So let's add maybe about this shade. So this would be fine. And let's change the color on hover. So on hover, maybe you want something a bit different, maybe a red color. Let's go with red. And again, we're going to change the opacity slightly, and we're going to select this color. This would be fine. So let's put this to the test. Now, if I hover on top, you can see that our color is changing. Now let's have a look at our next widget, which is the post title. And with our post title, we can select if it's a single page or an archive page. So in our case, it's a single page. We can add a prefix. So basically we'll add something at the front of your title, and the postfix as well, so after it. And then you can decide which hashtag you want to apply to it. So how big do you want your font basically? And again, we can add some styling options. So we can add some padding, some margin all around it. We can change the font, so the typography basically. If you wanted to change the font, you can do this here and change the weight and the style and everything basically. And then we have some additional customization settings for normal mode and hover mode. So for instance, we can change the font color. So it's white at the moment, so we're going to keep it white. That's fine. And we can even add a background color. So just one color or gradient. It's up to you. So let's go with just one single color for now. And let's add maybe a dark background, just like this. And maybe let's change the opacity slightly after all. So maybe just like that. And then we can add some padding all around it. So let's go and change it. So let's add maybe 40 in padding all around. So this is absolutely fine. And then we can add a border as well. So let's add a solid border. We're going to decide 1 pixel in thickness, and we're going to make it black, jet black, just like that. And now we can add border radius as well. So let's go with 25. And you can see that now all our corner edges are rounded. And then we have our extra options as well. And from here you can limit the length of your title. So let's say if some of your posts had long titles, you can limit this based on letters or words. So let's say instead of 10, if we had only 4 words, our title now will only display "In a Cold Night." So if you add 5 with yellow, light. So basically this is how you can limit the size of your titles. And then we can apply the same set of settings for our prefix and postfix. Now let's have a look at our next widget. And this one is called Post Meta. So from here you can basically decide which set of information you wish to display. So at the moment we have the author, we have the date and comments, how many comments were posted. But you can change this around, so you can change the order as well if you wanted to, just like that. And you can remove some or add some simply by clicking Add Item. And now we can select Author again. And just like this, we have a new item. And then you can select the alignment. You can have it to the left, to the right, or centered. And you can add styling options again as well. And from here you can tweak literally every aspect of this widget. So you can see we have the separator, post date, taxonomies, author, comment, and even the inner content area and the main content area. So let's discover a few of those features. So let's add a separator, and right here you can type in any lines of text that you want. So maybe just 3 hyphens like this. You can change the size as well, just like this. Or you can even add an emoji if you wanted to. And for this, you can go to this free website called getemoji.com. And you can browse through all of these different emojis, select one that you like. So maybe this one, for instance. Right click, copy. And now we can paste it right here. And as you can see, our emoji is displaying as a divider. Now, obviously, you can add more spacing to the left and to the right as well. So let's have a look at our post date. So as you can see, the first thing you can decide is whether you want to show it or not. So let's keep it on for now. You can add a prefix. You can select the type of icon you want to display. So at the moment it's clock 1, maybe you prefer clock 2, or maybe one of those calendars. So let's keep it to clock 2 for now. And obviously you can change the color of both your text and icon in both normal and hover mode. And then our next option is post taxonomies. So we need to enable it to be able to see it. So now we can see world, beach, jumbo, travel, and music. If we go back to our content here, we can see our category. This is the taxonomies we've selected, but we can have the post tags as well. So now we can see it: starter, Elementor, Mars, zombie, and web design. So it's really up to you if you want to display them or not. And obviously you can decide if you want a prefix to be an icon or text. So you can type in the text you want to here. So let's keep it as an icon for now. And you can obviously change the font color and all the different styling as well. So let's keep it disabled for now. And let's go to our next, which is post author. So again, you can define a prefix. And as you can see, our icon, you can select among a few options. So we have icon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let me show you a few of them. Or you can display the avatar, and you can even change the size if you wanted to. So up to 100. Or you can make it the same size as the rest of the content. And again, you can change the color of the font and the icon color in both normal mode and hover mode. Now, in relation to the comment section, you have the exact same set of options. So you can select among different icons, change its size, and change the font color, icon color in both normal and hover mode as well. And you can tweak the inner content area and the main content area. So let me show you which areas these are. So let's add a background color. So this is the inner content area. And then we have the main content area. So there you go. That's everything else basically. Now let's go back to our very first section here, meta info. So let me show you where these settings apply. And for this, we will have to add some prefix text to post date, post author, and post comment. So let's go ahead with this. So let's open post date first. And in the prefix text, let's type in post date. In the post author section, we can type in author. And in post comment, we'll type in comments. Now let me show you those settings here. And from here we can customize the label and the value. So let's start with our label. So let's go and change the font. So as you can see, the font size is set to 1. So let's increase this. As you can see now, it is revealing our new prefix text. So let's make this maybe 16 pixels in size. We can make it bold, maybe 900 like this. And let's have the text all in uppercase. And let's select a color, so maybe white. And then we can do the same for the value. So the value basically is September 28th and comments 4 and David Garay. So basically if I change the color here, you will see immediately this is where it applies. And you can change its layout. If you go into content, we can select layout 2. And that looks absolutely great, doesn't it? And with this type of layout, you can decide how to align your labels. So you could have them centered, to the left, or to the right. Now let's scroll down our page and discover the other widgets. So we have this one here. If you click on the pencil, you can see this is our post content. And from here you can select if you want your post type to be single page or archive page, and which type of content you want to display, so full content or the excerpt. Now if we have a quick look at our post, we just edit like this, not with Elementor, just open it like this. You can see there's an excerpt section here, and this is the excerpt that will display. So maybe you'd like to have the excerpt on top and maybe the rest of the content afterwards. So we can just duplicate this. And now we click on this one and we change this one as full content. And now we can have the excerpt on top and the full content afterwards. And let's have a look at our styling options. And as you can see, these only apply for excerpts. So this section basically. So let's add some padding, maybe 40. Let's add a background color, maybe a light gray like this. Yeah, this would be absolutely fine. And make sure that our font is easy to read. So maybe a jet black color. And let's tweak our font as well. So we can make it maybe italic. And maybe increase its size slightly. So maybe up to 18, just like that. And now it looks absolutely perfect. And now with our excerpt, we give our readers a preview of the content that's just underneath it. So let's have a look at our next widget, which is this one. And this one is the post author. And you can select between two different styles, so style 1 and style 2. And if you select style 2, you can define the max width and also how do you want to align your content. And then as always, we have all our styling options. So the first one is the author name. So do you want to display it or not? And if you're displaying it, you can change the font and the color in normal and hover mode. So let's just keep it black for now. And then we can display the author role as well. So by default it's disabled. But if you enable it, as you can see, the role is being displayed, and you can select which label you want to add. And we can change, as always, the font and the color in normal and hover mode. And then we can display the author bio. So as you can see at the moment, it is enabled, and yet we don't have anything related to the bio. And the reason is because the bio hasn't been filled in with any content in the backend. So you have to go into all your users, edit the users you want to add the bio, and then paste it right here and then update. And now if we enable our bio, as you can see, it is displaying just underneath. And now that we have a bio, maybe you can tweak this around a little bit and make the font a little bit smaller. So instead of 16, maybe we're going to use a 12 in size. And then we have the author avatar. So this is our picture here. So do you want to show it or not? So it's really up to you. And if you do, you can select the size, so you can change the width. So you can increase this by using this sliding button. So maybe a bit smaller like this. And let me show you a very cool effect you can apply for the avatar picture. You can add a box shadow. So just put 0, 0. For the blur, we're going to increase that to maybe 20. And then we're going to add a border radius of 50, just like that. And as you can see now, we have a rounded shape avatar with a background color. And then we have a social links icon, so you can decide whether or not you want to display them. And if you do, what size do you want them to be? So let's keep it 15 for now. And as always, again, you can change the color in normal and hover mode. And then we have a content background. So we can decide which padding you want to apply. So as you can see, we have 50 on top, 50 at the bottom at the moment, and then 75, 75 right and left. And then we can add a background color if you wanted to. So again, you can have a solid color or a gradient color. So let's add a color. So maybe a light gray like this would be absolutely fine. And then you can add a border as well if you wanted to. So let's select a solid border. Let's go and add 1 pixel in thickness. Let's select our color. So maybe let's go with a dark gray like this. And then we can add a border radius as well. So if you go up to 10, you can see our corner edges are rounded. So let's discover our next widget, which is post comment. And with this widget, we only have styling options. So we can change everything related to our heading. So we can change the font. So maybe you can make it a little bit thicker, just like this. And we can change the color as well if we wanted to. So maybe let's go with a dark purple like this. And then we can tweak our comment list. And as you can see, this one is quite comprehensive. So let's go through each and every option. So we can change the image size. So basically this is the avatar picture. How big do you want it to be? So let's say maybe 75. And then we can add a border all around it as well. So let's add one for now. So just a solid border, and maybe let's make it 3. And let's select a color. So we can select a red, just like that. And as you can see, all our avatar pictures have a rounded edge. And again, we can add a cool effect if we go on hover, and we add a solid border as well. But this type, we're going to make it 5 in thickness, or slightly thicker. And we can select the same color, same red. And now if we hover on top, you can see we have a cool effect as well. Now we can change the border radius as well. So let's start from 1. As you can see, now it's a squarish shape. And then the more we increase, the more the corner edges will be rounded. So maybe you prefer them like this. And we can add a box shadow as well. So you can see now we have a bit of shadow all around it. So maybe let's increase this horizontally by 5 and vertically by 5 as well. And then we can change the colors for both username and meta and reply message. So meta typography, let's go and change the color because it's actually not displaying at the moment. So if you were to use maybe this shade of gray, and then we might want to change the size. It's slightly too big, so let's make it smaller. So instead of 16, maybe we have a 12. And then we can do the same for our reply message. So we can change the color if you wanted to. So you can see now it is red. So let's keep it maybe just this shade. This is perfect. And we can change the font as well. So you can make it maybe a bit small if you prefer. So let's keep scrolling down. And then we have the separate comments. So you can change the padding. So let me show you. So that's basically all the surrounding edges. So you can make it bigger or smaller. So let's keep it 30 maybe. And you can increase the bottom space here. So basically it's 20 at the moment. So you can increase the space in between them. So basically maybe 40. So let's keep it 20. That's absolutely fine. And as you can see, we already have a solid border all around it in a gray shade. So you could change this as well. So you can increase the size if you wanted to. And you can change its color. So it could be darker maybe or brighter, whichever you prefer. And you can increase the border radius as well. So those rounded edges basically. Now let's have a look at our reply button here. So we click on this. And from here you can change all the different settings as well again. So you can decide how much padding you want to add around your text. And you can define your text color, your background color, whether you want it to be a single color or gradient. If it's gradient, let's add another color here, maybe another shade of purple, just like this. And then you can change the angle of your gradient as well. Maybe you want it to be from the left to the right. You can add a border as well. So let's add a solid border. Let's add it 1 in the thickness. And we can change our color. So let's go with a dark purple maybe, just like this. And then we can define our border radius. So basically 0 would be a completely square button. And then you can round these edges. And we can even add a shadow effect if we wanted to. And then we can add some styling to the cancel reply feature. So let me show you this one now. So basically when someone wants to post a reply and then they change their mind, they can cancel. So basically this is the feature cancel reply that you can tweak around. And then we have a comment form. So let's scroll down here. So this is our form. And then we have the submit button. And all these can be tweaked around as well. And from here again, you can change literally every aspect of this section. So you can change the label, color and typography, the field typography and color. So let's say we have a background color at the moment, which is a light gray. We have a solid border of 1 pixel of a darker shade of gray, and the border radius is set to 5. So that's basically what it looks like, so which is absolutely fine. And then we have the focus mode. So what's the focus mode? So the best way is to demonstrate it. So let's add a background color, and maybe we're going to select a shade of beige like this, maybe a bit darker like this. That would be absolutely perfect. So let me update this. So let me show you what the focus color is. So if I click on reply, you can see we have a focus color being displayed here. If I click anywhere outside that field, it will show a lighter gray. And once I decide to type my comment again, it will display my focus color again. And finally, for our section here, we have the submit button. So you can tweak literally everything you want again for this one. So you can change the color, your background type. So maybe you want to add a gradient color. So let's add another shade of purple, maybe just like this. That's perfect. And let's change the angle maybe to 120. There you go. And then we can change the border radius as well. We can maybe increase this a little bit. And then we can do the same in hoverboard. So we can select a gradient, add the first color, second color, change the angle. And if we hover on top, you can see it will reveal a different set of colors. Now let's have a look at our next widget. And this one is called Edit Post, Previous and Next. So we can select among a few different styles. So we have style 1, as you can see on screen at the moment. Then we have style 2. So this one is with an arrow. If you hover on top, it will display the content of the article. And then we have style 3. So this is the one. And then we have style 4. So basically this will show an arrow by the side of your page. And if you hover on top, it will reveal the content of the article. And you can define what your text will display for the previous and next. And as always, we have all the styling options. So you can see here we can change our icon, color, background, etc. and the post content. But you will get different sets of settings based on the style you're going to select here. So if I select style 1, you can see I have a lot more options to change because this is a different layout. And the same applies for style 2, 3 and 4. Now let's go back to the top of our page and let's discover the sidebar here. So we have our tags here. So let's click on this and you can see this widget is called Edit Post Meta. And we can select between two different layouts of layout 1 or layout 2. And then we can see our category here. This field is the taxonomies. So we can select what we want to display here. What content we want to display, category or post tags. So we can show our tags as well. But you could display both if you wanted to. You can add another category as well. And maybe this time taxonomies and categories. And you can see now we're displaying all together both category and post tags. And as always, we have all the styling options. So as you can see, we can change all these different features here. So we've covered that already in a tutorial. So that's it really for the widgets related to the blog builder. But as you can see, we can add as many additional elements on your template as you wish and tweak everything around as well. So for instance, we added the option here to subscribe to a mailing list. We even have a small picture gallery, a promotional message, and even some social sharing buttons. So that was everything about our single post type. Now let's look at the archives and where this applies. So with archive, you can create author pages, search result pages, category pages and tags pages. So let's discover these now. So let's look at our demo category page, and this one is for the category heart. And basically if you scroll down the page, you can see all these are the single posts that are in this category. So let me show you how you can create a category template. So we're just going to next to builder, all templates, add new. We're going to add a title here. So let's call it category page templates. We're going to click on page, and this time we're going to select archives. Now for our rules, we are going to select post categories, and we can select all our categories or just add a few one only, but we're going to just keep them all for now. And then if we scroll down slightly, we'll have to select a preview type. So here we're going to select post categories, and the preview ID, we have to select at least one category. So let's select beach for now. And then we're going to click publish, publish again, and then edit with Elementor. From here, we're going to create a new section. And then we go back to our demo category page. And as you can see, if we hover on top, we have the option to copy this section here. So just copy, processing, copied. And then we go back to our template, right click on this section, plus paste. So we have this one copied already. Now back to our demo page. If we scroll down the page, you can see we have the copy feature here. So click on this, processing, copied. Now if we hover on our section, we right click on it, plus paste. And there you go. Now let's discover our different elements. So let's click on this one here. So this is a post title, and as you can see, it's related to our archive page. And we can have a prefix, so you can see it says category here, semicolon, and then beach. So very nice. And then we can apply some styling as usual. So we can change our font if we wanted to. We can change the font color. So let's make it maybe purple, just like this. Let's add a background type, maybe white, just like that. We're going to add a little bit of padding around it, so maybe 15. And why not add a little border as well, a solid border. We're going to select the width of 1. We're going to make it purple again. So this shade of purple this time, maybe slightly darker. We're going to add a border radius of 25. And this looks absolutely great, doesn't it? And let's have a look at our next element here, which is this one. So this is the edit, blog, and post listing. Again, this is related to our archive page. And we can select among 4 different styles. So we have style 3, which is the one we have at the moment. We have style 1. So this one has a darker background and it reveals the content if you hover on top. We have style 2. Now we have a bigger picture with the text underneath. And then we have style 4, which is this one with the text on top of the image. So let's go back to style 3 for now. And for the rest of our tutorial, I've changed the category ID here. I selected archives so that this way we have more than one article to display. It's easier for you to preview. So then you can select among different layouts. So we have grid, masonry, metro, and carousel. So these are the standard layouts. And then you have your content alignment. So you can align the content to the left, like we have it now, to the right. So basically the image will be on the right hand side, as you can see. Or you can have left, right, left, right. So it will alternate basically. So I have one to the left, one to the right, one to the left, and one to the right. And then you can select either style 1 or style 2. So at the moment we have style 2. So, and this is style 1. So a slightly smaller picture on the side compared to style 2. And then we can configure our content source as well. So how many posts do you want to display? Maximum posts. So you can see at the moment we have 4. So it's going to display 4 posts per page. Now we can increase or decrease that. So let's go maybe for 6. So if I scroll down, you can see we have more articles now. We have up to 6 articles being displayed on this page. And then you can decide in which order you want to display them. So it could be by date, by ID, author, title, name slug, etc., etc., even by comment counts. And then you can decide in which order you want to display them, descending order or ascending order. So in our case here with dates, it could be from the oldest to the newest or from the newest to the oldest. And then you can decide how many columns you want to use. So it could be 1 column, 2 columns, up to 6. And you can set this up for desktop, tablets, and mobile. And you can add a gap as well, so a space in between them. So as you can see, we have a bit of spacing in between, and these are those settings basically. And then we have our extra options here. So you have the title tag, so you can select between H1 up to H6. You can limit the title size as well, the length of this title. So if you don't enable this, basically it will display the full title, but some titles might be a bit long or too long to display. So you might want to limit this. If you do so, you can limit by characters or word. So let's say if I was to limit this to maybe 5 words, just like this, as you can see now it's "in a cold night with," and that's all. And if I don't limit this, it will display the whole title. And then we have the excerpt of the content here, which is this section here. So you can limit this as well. You can decide whether or not you want to show it. And if you do you want to limit the content to a certain amount of words? So at the moment it's 30 words, which is about average. And then you can select the image size you want to display. So if you enable this, at the moment it's full, but you can have it as thumbnail, so 150 by 150, and your image will be cropped basically and centered horizontally and vertically. And as you can see, all the images are the same size now. And then you can decide how to display your post meta. So this is this section here. So we have 3 different styles. So style 1 we have at the moment, style 2, or style 3. So this one will display the avatar picture as well. And then you can decide whether or not you want to display the date, the author name, and the picture. So all these options, if you don't want them, just disable them or enable them. And finally, we have a button here that says continue reading. So you can select among 3 different styles, and you can change the text. So instead of continue reading, why not read more? That'd be fine as well. And then if you wanted to, you can even add an icon font. So you can select among those 2 different options here. So we have Font Awesome and Icon Mind. So let's go with Font Awesome, which is the most popular one. And you can select a different icon. So read more, and you can have the chevron like this. This is the name of this icon, which is absolutely fine. And then where do you want to position it? Before or after? So if it's before, it will show like this. If it's after, it will basically be after. And then you can increase the spacing in between the 2. So you can have it maybe full width if you wanted to, just like that, or bring it a little bit closer. Now we have the more post loading option. So basically when someone reaches the bottom of your page and they've seen 6 of these items, because we limit it to 6 items, what can we do? We can have pagination. So if it's pagination, basically you go from one page to the other. So as you can see, we have 4 pages of at least 6 items here. So you can go to the next one or a specific page. Or we can have a load more option. So basically when someone reaches the bottom of your page, they can click load more, and it's going to load another 6 articles. And then we have the last option, which is the lazy load. So basically when someone reaches the bottom of the page, it's going to load the other 6 automatically and dynamically. And each loading option has a set of customization. As you can see here, you can change the loading text, when it's loaded, what do you want to display, and how many posts do you want to load each and every time. So you can define here, maybe you want to load another 5, another 6, or even more if you wanted to. So let's create a new template again. So add new, and this time we're going to call this one tag page template. And then we're going to select page, archive. In the type of archive, we're going to select tag. So we're going to post tags, this one here. And we need to select a type of preview. So we're going to select here tags again. So post tags. And we need to select at least one. So let's go with maybe Elementor. And then we're going to click publish and publish once more. And then edit with Elementor. And now from here, we're going to create a new section just like this. And then we can do the same thing, create a new template for a tag page like this one. And again, if you go into the demo section, you can copy this and paste it in our Elementor page, and do the same with the main content. We can copy and paste it in our Elementor page. And this is our result. So this is our page has been recreated. So if we go on this section here, we can see this is a post title. And again, this is related to archive page, except that the prefix now we typed in tag semicolon instead of category semicolon. So this is done manually. And if we click on this, all these options are basically all the same as before, except that all our articles now are listed by tags attributes. And just to make it clear, this is where all the difference is basically in your main settings here. You select the post tags, and the category ID you want to display. Now let's have a look at the author page. So basically here on top you have all the details about the author itself, and then you have all the articles written by that author. So from here we go into Next Builder, we create a new template, add new. We're going to give it a title. So let's call it author page template. We're going to scroll down here and select page, archive again. And then here, instead of all archive, we're going to select author archive, which is this one here. Which conditions do we want to apply? Do we want to display them all or just a few? So we have two author here. So we can select maybe just one for now. So let's select maybe Mr. Web Reviews. And then we need to select our preview type, so author archive, which is fine. And then we can select a category, or we can remove this all together to display all the articles written by that author. So just like this. And then again, we can click publish, publish once more, and then edit with Elementor. So from here, we're going to create a new section, add section. And back to our demo page, we can hover on top of the header, click on copy. It says processing, copied. Now we go back to our Elementor page, click on the element here, right click, plus paste. So this is our header. And now we're going to select the content section, which is here. So if we hover on this, we can click copy, processing, copied. And now back to our template. If we right click on this, plus paste, and this is all our content just underneath it. And let's discover our different elements. So we have this one here. So let's click on that. So this is our post author. And then we have two different styles. So style 1 and style 2. So with style 1, there's absolutely no options to select from. And style 2, you can tweak it around slightly. So you can define the max width. And where do you want to align your content? So maybe to the left, maybe to the right, or maybe you want it centered. And then we have all the styling options, which apply to each and every section of this element here. So you have the author name, author role, author bio, author avatar, social links, and content background. So you can tweak each and every one of them in normal mode, hover mode, change the font, etc. And you can enable it or disable it. So basically these have all the same set of settings that we've already covered in previous items. And the exact same applies with this section here. So this is an edit blog and post listing. So we've covered all this already when we created the category template. And finally, we have our search result page. So if someone was to look for this keyword, for instance, night, this is one article that contains this keyword. So let me show you how to create a template for a result page. So let's click add new. Let's give it a title, so search result page template. We're going to select pages, archives. In here, instead of all archives, we're going to select search results. For the preview type, we're going to keep author archive. And in the categories, you can narrow it down to one category, but since it is a search result, you might want to remove this. So click the X, and then we're going to click publish, publish once more, and then edit with Elementor. From here, we're going to create a new section. Now back to our demo page, we're going to hover on the header here. We're going to click copy. It's processing, copied now. And from our template, we're going to right click on the element, plus paste. So this is our header, has been recreated. And now we're going to copy our content zone, which is here. So click on copy, processing, copied. And now back to our template. Right click on this section, plus paste, and there you go. So there you go, this is how you can implement the blog builder on your website, and you will agree that it does add a lot of interest to your web pages. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below. Again, my name is Dave, and it was a real pleasure to present this tutorial on behalf of the Plus Addons for Elementor, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out when new videos are being uploaded. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.